Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
On the double.
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. And able to elude one tackler, but only gets this back to the line of scrimmage. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Back to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Andrew Booth picks it off. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this.
Touchdown, Vikings! Dalvin Cook, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Greg Joseph on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Now the interception on that opening drive winds up leading to the touchdown, so now it's kind of time to start over.
Yeah, it certainly is, and his first throw of the game. But I like the way his guys rallied around him. Oftentimes, the quarterback is the leader, right? He tells everyone what to do. In this case, I noticed his linemen around him kind of patting him, saying, "Let's go, big boy. You're still our leader."
Well, no matter your experience level as a quarterback, you throw an interception on that first drive, maybe a little shaken up. Nice response there to get their first down.
I think you make an excellent point. I don't care who you are. You throw an interception, it's going to get to you a little bit. But the ones that we've seen that are the best, you never notice it. They don't come to the bench, throw their helmets. They don't do any of that. They just go back out the next drive and act like it never happened. And that's what we're seeing here.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Back to throw here. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And he is going to have a Lions first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7. The Lions at 3-2, a game over 500 here to start the season. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Vikings are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for second down. Now, this defense for the Lions, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much, and it turned out that it got into his head a little bit. That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
On play action, they'll throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
Well, after incompletions on first and second down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on third down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Go check. Ready.
They'll look to throw. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. And the Vikings are going to get it back here just past the 35. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
On 2nd down, Cook. And this play is going nowhere as he dives to the ground behind the line of scrimmage. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, they went back to him, but the results were similar, so I highly doubt that he'll get another opportunity here on 3rd and long.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Operating from the gun, Campbell. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be, the side judge says, right at the 35-yard line here. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Sitting at first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit, or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there, because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
And now the throw here is incomplete. And with that, we come to the end of the first quarter of play.
Here we go.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run right here with Swift. Trying to turn the corner, but he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. This offense so far on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And the Vikings are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn. And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes that's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense, because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Here's Campbell looking to throw on 2nd down. But he's got Smith here.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play, because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives him much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Off-play action. Campbell. He's got a man. Complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Well, forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. From the pistol, they run it with Cook. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. But defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Third down, Dalvin Cook. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making a play.
The kick by Joseph is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Again, it's Cook. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 2 straight runs of 5 yards, 1st and 10. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Now a give running right, it's Cook. He will push his way down to about the 14. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Now Cook running right. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his first rushing touchdown of the year. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Joseph connects on the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
18, Pioneer, 79 Broncos.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And now here's another interception. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Well, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
Campbell now throwing to start the drive. And he's got this to Jefferson. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. They'll run with Cook, and he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. And give him 2 yards officially, and now it'll be 3rd and goal.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the Jets sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
3rd and goal at the 4-yard line. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Dalvin Cook, as the first half is winding down. And the Vikings are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Joseph connects on the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They'll throw now on the final play. He's got a man, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Fields it right around the goal line. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles, and I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the third quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
A give. This is Cook. He takes this for 3 to the 29. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there. What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play. There, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They will run straight ahead with Swift. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now. They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game
that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it doesn't pan out. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. Yeah, this defense rallies, and they stop him short of the 1st down right near the 24. Here's Greg Joseph now to try the field goal. He connected on his first, this from 41. Joseph's got it, and the lead increases even further. It's 27-0 now. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
Joseph now to kick this one away. He was solid on the field goal, but not as solid on the kickoff there, and that'll put him at the 40-yard line to start this drive. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. This is Swift on the counter. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game, and really they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On the option to give to Swift here. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. On 2nd down, Swift. And some room to maneuver. Touchdown, Detroit. So that, Charles, their first score of the ballgame, obviously, coming here in the 3rd quarter. Is that going to be enough to energize the troops?
It's a great question, and we'll wait to see the answer, but it's finally something for them to build on. Now they know that they can actually score against that defense.
Dan Campbell makes the call. His guys will go for 2 here. They'll try and throw for it. And this is going to be intercepted.
It's interesting that when it comes to 2-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
If this defense wants to stay in this ball game, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
Now this time he'll look to throw. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you're doing a big way, and what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working.
He's got a man. Complete. Past the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Joseph connects on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting?
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring him indeed with that score alone. Joseph connects on the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Now this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Let's go now.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters.
go.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Down to about the 37.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Rolling to his left. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. And the Lions are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line.
And the tough thing is when he goes back and reviews the film, he'll see that he already escaped the pocket. He could have gotten more himself by using his legs, and that might have been the better choice there instead of challenging the zone. A miscalculation on his part, and he pays for it with the interception.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. And this is incomplete. Oh, he looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. That one complete. He finds Shark. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Viking 18. 7 Pirates.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Check match. Ready.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That is caught at the 7. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Back to throw again. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
The extra point up and good, and that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Pass incomplete. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Campbell throwing on 4th down. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he is going to pick up the Vikings' first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket. But it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game. And they're not holding back. They're still throwing the football here in the fourth.
They certainly are. And let me tell you something. If you're old school, you don't like this at all. But in today's football, you just go ahead and savor it. Watch a team execute at a high level. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
Now Campbell on 1st down. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Charles,